today's practice seated with a nice tall spine. Crown of the head pulling towards the ceiling, shoulders are relaxed down away from your ears. Take a moment, maybe it feels good, to pay attention to some neck tension, some shoulder tension. See where you're holding on and see where you can let go. Today's practice is going to be just about that opening line. What are you holding on to? And what can you let go? And that can be physical today, of course, or maybe you've got something weighing on your heart or weighing on your mind, something that's beyond your control, which 2020 has just been so full of, things that we just need to let go. So let that breath start to deepen, let the eyes soften. Let the muscles of your face become gentle, easy. Go ahead and just take your time, relaxing any muscles, or just tapping in, noticing. Hands start to reach out to the sides of us, reaching to the mat, fingertips touching the ground. Right ear moves towards right shoulder. Inhale, head stands back up. Left ear moves towards left shoulder. Take your time, move through that again. Up and over. Up and over. Inhale, breath brings hands up overhead. Exhale, breath brings hands to heart. Two more just like that. Inhale, reach. Exhale, find the heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, find the heart. Lace the fingers together, press them forward. Drive a little bit right and left. And then just bring this up over the head, softening those elbows, lean to right, lean to left. Back to center, let the hands break away. Fall down to your sides. Right hand moves itself towards the left knee. Left hand reaches up by your ear first, then start to change your chest to angle towards that side. You can stay here, or this hand that's in the sky might even come down and look for the floor behind you. Inhale, breath, arm comes up, bring it back by ear, swing it around. Take it over and across to find that opposite knee. Other hand comes up, find ear. Start to add the twist. You might just pause and stay right here, or hand may reach back behind. Give yourself a nice twist. Perfect. Taking your time coming out, arm goes up. And then just let both arms kind of crisscross across your lap. So it might not physically be possible to touch both of your knees, but just kind of crisscrossing out here in front of you. Inhale, breath, bring the elbows up to a T shape. Exhale, breath, just shoot them over and across. So try to remember which arm is on top and switch it each time. So you're getting a little opening in your upper back, a little twisting here. A little bit of shoulder opener. Last one. All right, just take the arms up, let them X. From there, spin your palms forward and back as you work your hands back down towards your sides. And then just give yourself a nice big shoulder roll when those hands make it all the way down to earth. So up, and then just let them fall back. Let's find tabletop. If you know you could benefit from having a blanket somewhere in your practice today, maybe take that to the center of the mat to use as an extra cushion. If you feel like you don't need it, just toss it off to the side. Wrists are gonna go right underneath shoulders, knees under hips. And remember, we're trying to find that space where we can let things go today. Only holding on to what we need. I'm gonna go ahead and just start some simple cat-cow movement. Most of you are familiar with that shape. That's pretty basic. So just a couple more times, just letting that breath into the body. The next time you reach that angry cat spine, go ahead and sit the hips back. Let them sit on your heels. Hands walking forward up the mat. I know you can't really see them on the ground here, but we're stretching those arms nice and long up the mat. Hips are sitting back in the opposite direction. Relax that upper back and shoulder area, but let those hips really settle towards your heels. Beautiful work. Bring yourself back up to that same tabletop. Right hand stretches out straight and front. The left toes go behind. Balancing table. Holding that balancing table for another round of breath. Perfect. Hand comes down to earth. Take this leg that's been nice and long. Spin it so that the inside edge touches your mat. You're going to bring your right hand directly underneath your face. Open up with the left arm towards the sky and give yourself a little gate pose. Nice, good stretch on inner thighs. Hand comes down to earth. Curl toes under on both feet. Lift for your first downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk that out. Feet are probably hip distance or maybe a little closer. Knees drop down. Here we go. Repeat the same thing on the other side. Left hand reaches out. Left toes behind. See what you can do with this shape. Imagine your rib cage kind of coming in towards center, cinching up almost as if you had a zipper up the front of your shirt. You've got lots of length out through fingers and toes. Staying in that shape. Another round of breath. Hand comes down, looks for earth. Leg that's been lifted, turn it on it so its inside edge touches the floor. Start to bring left hand underneath face. Left toes might open slightly to the side as you open for that same gate pose on the other side. So it should feel like a little strength for that arm on the ground, some inner thigh opening, but nothing too big just yet. Hands come down and look for earth, toes curl under, downward facing dog. Lift those hips nice and high, pedal them out. Pedal out the feet rather. Good work. Knees drop back down to ground. Hips sit back towards heels, child's pose. Shift from child's pose back forward to a half plank. Child's pose, sit back. Two more just like that. So you're moving from a half plank, shoulders and wrists in a nice line, knees on the ground, to a child's pose. Take one more. Send it back. Next time you move towards that half plank, shift it back up to downward facing dog. Small steps with your feet, walk them forward, let them find your first forward fold of today's practice. Head is heavy down towards the ground, maybe knees bend. Half lift, long spine, maybe a set of blocks comes in and helps today. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the hands as high as they can go. Gaze upward. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach hands as high as they can go. Immediately begin the fold again. Exhale, fold. Halfway up, long inhale. Exhale, fold. Plant the feet, immediately reach up. We're going right back in. Last one, exhale, fold. Halfway up. Exhale, fold. Plant the feet, big inhale, hands reach up this time. Hands come to heart, Sudassana. Stand in that standing mountain pose. Shoulders drop from ears. Keep the pelvis nice and square to the front of your mat. Thinking almost like this area of your body is like a bowl. And if it's tipped too far, you're gonna spill down the front of you. If it's tipped too far underneath, you're gonna spill down the back. So we wanna try to square that off, stand nice and tall, hands towards heart. All right, adding on this time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, chair pose. Bend those knees, sink. Hold. Big exhale, fold towards the earth. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back, right heel spins. Warrior one. Chest comes up, use the breath. Settle into that warrior one shape. Back foot's attached to earth. Front knee is straight forward up the mat. Exhale, let chest fall. Hands come out to the sides. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, chest falls. Hands turn out. Inhale, bring it back up. Last one. Exhale, chest falls. Hands turn out. Inhale, bring this up and stay still. From here, your hands are going to shift forward towards the ground. My toes pivot towards something that looks like a crescent on that back leg. And then I'm going to shift my front foot all the way back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here, shifting down dog. Inhale, breath, plank pose. Exhale, breath, downward dog. 2 more just like that. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Now I've already modeled for you how you can do this on your knees. Feel free to drop into that child's pose and take the more modified version at any time. Once you hit that down dog, take your time. Small steps or a large leap. Feet move back up here to hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach hands all the way up. Exhale, Tadasana, hands to heart. Inhale, reach and chair is waiting for you. Sit right in that chair. Hold breath. Stay there. Fold. Halfway up. Fold. Left foot steps back. Left toes turn, left heel turn, sink it into the ground, bring yourself up, warrior one. Settle into that warrior, nice decent bend in front knee, straight line into that front foot. Back leg is rooted into the ground, hands are up, exhale, fold, hands sweep back. 2 more, take your time. Floating breath, easy movement. Take your time. Last one, next time arms are up. We'll stay there. Hold that warrior shape. Hands start to move down towards the ground or blocks. Back toe spins up. You look like you're doing kind of a crescent shape. If you've been on blocks, you can either scoot those out or flip them to their shortest side. Front foot steps back, downward dog. 3 breaths, shifting back and forth. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Breathe, my friends. Last one. All right, from here, right knee drops to ground. Left leg shoots out long behind, turn it on its inside edge. Right hand goes underneath face. Lift left hand up, hold. Left hand comes to ground. Curl toes under, lift hips up, downward facing dog. Left knee drops to ground, right leg shoots out long behind. Flip it onto inside edge. Again, gate pose, other side. Hand comes down, looks for earth, curl toes under, downward dog, lift those hips up. Give me a plank pose again, shifting hips forward, pull up through the middle of the shoulder blades, heels push back, crown of the head pulls forward, core gets tight. Stay in that shape, 2 more breaths. You've got it. Stay there with me. Knees soften, drop them into earth, lower down. Hands on either side of heart, easy cobra breath. Drop back to earth, hands walk back, one big hand step, even with the bottom of the breastbone, curled toes under, push to knees, downward facing dog. Right knee drops to ground, left leg goes behind, turn it on its inside. Option this time, right hand comes underneath face. Maybe you even step this right leg long to give yourself a full version of side plank. Stacking feet or staggering feet. One more breath, don't drop this top hip. Give yourself nice full shapes, one more. Beautiful, hands start to turn. Lift yourself back up, downward dog, walk it out. Left knee drops to ground, you can take gate one more time. Left hand underneath about your forehead, so you can really use this tricep muscle. Or you can stack feet. Give yourself the full version of side plank. 2 more breaths. Arm strength is obviously a focus today, along with our core. Hand comes back down, looks for earth, hips lift up. Knees drop down, hands come back by hips. Relax those wrists, give them some space, roll them around. Forehead might sink into your mat, or maybe you're resting it on a block. Stay in that space. Beautiful work, my friends. Hands start to walk back forward to the front of the mat, downward facing dog. Instead of walking feet towards hands, start to begin to walk hands towards feet, and you are in a nice forward fold shape. Shake the head, yes. And no. Inhale, bring it up halfway, long spine, exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, look up, hands above the head. Exhale, just let them slide down into the heart. All right, we're gonna step sideways on our mats. So take your choice as to what's gonna make the most sense for you. I'm gonna scoot back a little bit just so you can see my feet a little more. Wide stance, arms reach out, maybe take T. And just kind of lean around here a little bit, see what feels good in hips and shoulders, in your neck. Settle into a space. All right, beautiful. Right toes are gonna turn to face the edge of your mat, keeping that opposite foot parallel. Hands reach out, gaze over that right knee. Inhale, breath, flip right hand, sweep it up towards the sky. Back behind, reverse warrior, back, find warrior 2, through to side angle. Remembering side angle, anytime we have any kind of design on our t-shirt, we want to see if we can keep that facing out into the room as this arm comes up and rests near your ear. Beautiful, back up. One more time, same movement. All the way to side angle. Design on t-shirt stays out in the middle of the room. Back to warrior 2. Beautiful. Taking your hands, sweeping them so that they angle towards this right foot. Gonna spin on those back left toes and hold. Back knee drops to ground. Sink into this front foot. Allow that back hip flexor a little bit of space. Come off of that, toes lift up. Flattening foot back down. Start to walk the hands through center. Back knee is gonna lift up off the ground, spinning so that now you're in a big wide fold. Head is drooping down towards earth. Both feet are angled in the same direction. No twists or tweaks of the knees. Beautiful. Inhale, bring yourself up halfway and pause. Stay there. Exhale, release the breath. Long spine, stay still. Inhale, bring it the rest of the way up. Hands go back out and look for that star. Left toes this time turn and point to the side of the mat. Opposite foot still stays parallel to that edge of your mat. Arms reach wide. Gazing over that left side, flipping and reverse. So everything's the same, we're just doing it in the opposite direction. Still thinking about the angle of that t-shirt, keeping the chest nice and open, bicep by ear, keeping a decent bend in that front knee, back to warrior two. Beautiful, release. Up and through. Hold that side angle. Back to warrior two. Both hands start to turn towards that front foot. Hands come down, back toes shift so that you're in a low runner's lunge. Back knee drops into earth. Sit into that front knee a little bit more. Chest is open and proud. Chin is away from the chest. It's not a necklace. Don't wear that chin as a necklace. Beautiful. Start to shift back onto that back knee. Toes come up. If you need the help of a set of blocks, keep that spine long. Go ahead and reach for those. Perfect. Front foot starts to look for ground. Lift this back knee up. Start turning to the center again. Toes now both angled in the same direction so that you're in a nice forward fold. Head is heavy down through the middle. Give it another round of breath, maybe using a block as an assistant, especially if forward folds are really tricky for you or you need to have some bends in your knees. You can always add a block in here. Give yourself one more breath. Beautiful. Let's start to work our way up from the earth. So a half lift, long spine, and then a fold. Hands start to reach up high above the head, make a letter X. Knees are going to turn in, heels drop down. Exhale, elbows right into the side body. Inhale, reach and make X. Exhale, bend, elbows tight. Squeeze a pencil between those shoulder blades. Let's go again. Last one. Hold. Stay right here with me. Turning the hands to offer them to the ceiling. We'll go ahead and slide them right in front as if we were holding a tray, and then open it out. Put it in front, and then open it out. Last one, put it in front, squeeze those elbows in tight, especially when you bring that tray apart. Yes, hold. Start to straighten those legs, hands come down, shoulders get a little bit of space. All right, walk the feet in just so that they, I'd say, a little wider than hips. You're going to transfer some weight to your right foot. As you inhale, arms will open X shape, left toes come up off the ground. So you can point through this left foot or you can flex. You're that same X shape. Now your balance has just shifted to this right side. Hold for a breath. Start to unwind from that X, foot plants, hands drop, and then I want you to go the other way. Hold, keep this standing leg strong, continuing to lift up through that leg as the arms reach out. One more breath. Okay, we're gonna do it one more time. Feet come down, arms drop with it. Shift the weight. Other side. You can laugh at yourself. It's all right. It's a funky balance. Foot comes down, hands drop, last one. Told you we're working a little bit of core. This is a sneaky core because when we try to hold those arms up, lift this leg, we're using a lot of oblique strength, whether you feel it right in this particular moment or not. You're lifting up that kneecap, keeping this quad nice and tight. Perfect, settle down, arms drop. And maybe just like a little loosey-goose. Feeling in the hips and the knees. Nice work. All right, my friends, find the back of your mat. So just take a big step, walk to the back of your mat. Inhale, reach the hands up, and then sit down in that same invisible chair. So remembering our tray, our offering we had earlier, see if you can take that again. Knees bent, tray out in front. Watch your spine. Keep your chin away from your chest. Bring the tray out a little wider. See if you can reach it out to the side. Sink a little deeper. Hold, hold, hold. Tray comes back in close. Lift hips, drop hands. Shake the head, yes and no. And then you're just going to take your hands and gently start to walk them up the mat. Looking for a down dog. Right foot lifts high into the sky. Right knee comes forward towards your right wrist and hold. Hover. Push through that back left heel. Engage the core. Drop the knee. And then settle into your version of pigeon today. So that back leg continues to walk long. My little secret is knee, then walk the toes, knee and walk the toes until I can get myself into that space. If you need to take a block, prop it underneath that hip. If you need to take a block, prop it underneath your head. Feel free to move into whatever version of pigeon feels most appropriate today. Let that breath flow in and out as the mind settles down, heart settles down. Wiping away any kind of tension you might have in the brow line. Across your forehead, through your cheeks, your chin. Really let those hips just settle down straight towards earth. Take another round of breath. All right, my friends, next natural inhale. Starts to peel us up off the ground. Hands walk back a little closer. Toes curl under. Hips lift up. Downward facing dog. Walk it out. Opposite side, other foot lifts. Bring that knee forward towards wrist, hover. See if you can push a little bit back through that heel. Crown of the head pulls forward, core is engaged. Drop it down when you feel ready. Back knee hits, and then watch. Toes, knee, toes, knee. Get yourself a little kind of crawl into that pigeon shape. See what needs to happen with the hips. The hips need to stay square. This foot needs to cut across your mat, this bent knee that's on the ground, in such a way that there's no pain in the knee, ankle, the hips feel square, the chest can start to drop, maybe forearms towards ground, or using a pillow or a block, a blanket. Of course, you always know if these shapes don't work for you, you can come out of them. You can roll to that outer hip. You can rotate and do your version of pigeon, even on your back, if that would be more appropriate today. Stay in that shape, 2 more breaths. So I was saying in our intro today, whatever kind of music you've had playing in the foreground, in the background, whatever ground, me trying to think and talk at the same time. Whatever music you've had playing, maybe it shifts now to something that feels more like Savasana. A spa mix is always a good option, where I have, I believe, a public playlist that you can always borrow for home practice called Savasana if you want to look for me on Spotify. Carrie M. Rice, I believe, is my name on Spotify. It's not what I play in the studio, but it's a home practice Savasana list that you can certainly choose from. All right, starting to bring your chest up a little bit off the mat, hands walking back a little closer to you. And then shift it one last time. Give it your last down dog of today's practice. Of course, knees can drop in the ground if puppy pose or child's pose is more your thing right now. Just give yourself some space. Knees drop into earth. Start to shift onto your feet. You can sit so that you're facing straight up the mat, just like always. And just give yourself a couple breaths. Whatever easy seat feels good to you. Some may want a butterfly pose or kind of a bound angle. If you want to bring those feet together, great. If your hips are feeling a little tender and you'd rather just be in the tall seat, that works good too. Tune into the neck and shoulders just as you did in our opening parts of today's practice. Give them just a moment. One last final lift of the heart, support through the core. And then my friends will be ready for a reclined finish to today's practice. So if you want to blanket at the head of your mat, if you want to take blocks to be as assistance for you as you start to head to your back, if you are lucky enough to own a bolster, these are always great for a holiday gift list. If you don't own one of those, you might add that to your wish list and start to move yourself back to your back. When we find our backs here, we're going to finish today's practice in a peaceful way. Remembering that the final moments of every yoga practice are going to be set aside for Savasana. We're not quite yet there, so just honor your physical body. How does it want things to conclude? For me, I want a little bit of an inversion before I finish today. So I'm going to walk the heels of my feet in a little closer, bend my knees towards the ceiling. Take just a bridge pose, one more effort-filled pose today. And I didn't do a ton of heart opening, so if you don't feel so good walking those shoulders underneath, don't feel forced to do so. Me, I have kind of a left shoulder that's been giving me trouble lately. You've probably noticed. Mainly because I've kind of been avoiding chaturanga because I have just this tricky shoulder lately. If you want to reach for a block and add that underneath your bridge, feel free. I've got my block turned, not on its highest edge, but its second highest edge to help support me and hold me up. This then turns from an active pose to more of a restorative pose. Still able to get my knees above my heart, yet doing a little less work. If you'd like to turn your block onto its shortest side, feel free to then lift feet up towards the sky. If you have the luxury of a space at home to turn and put your legs on the couch, on a chair, or on a wall, feel free to take the legs up the wall for even less effort needed. I can hear my little people walking around outside my door. They're probably listening to see if I'm finished yet. Not finished yet. But just take your time. Any other final poses that start to speak a little loudly or a little louder, feel free to honor those. Knees might come down towards chest. Maybe those of us who've been on a block, get rid of that. We find ourselves in a bound angle, reclined on the earth, maybe even using the assistance of blocks to catch the outer edges of knees. Maybe you want knees to chest. We haven't done very much spinal twisting today, so if you feel like you need a twist to relieve some tension, feel free to do that. Or just begin to listen. What is the body saying? Has it had enough? Today, I think the answer is yes. Those who are doing today's class live, this is a Monday morning, and this is the way we've chosen to start our week. Some flowing movement, a chance to let go, no longer holding on to anything really that isn't serving us. So just let your back settle to the earth. Let your heart open. Let your hands fall out to the side and soften. Muscles of the face become easy, gentle. And the breath becomes just fluid, no longer forced, no longer really pushing the inhale or the exhale, or even really reminding yourself to breathe. Resting here in our final savasana for a few more moments. Knowing that the sound of my voice will call you back when it's time, so you can fully relax. Let your eyes close, no need to stare at the screen in order to follow along. Trust that your body knows how to do this final pose. Slowly starting to become aware of the breath and allowing a few easy movements back into the body. These don't need to be big. Maybe wiggling of fingers or toes, letting the head sweep softly and slowly side to side. As you feel ready, you'll join me back in a seat. Let us finish off today's practice similar to how we started. Just take your time, find a nice tall spine, hands perhaps into the heart, palm to palm. Today's final reading is entitled, Contentment is a Choice I Can Make Every Day. The Yoga Sutra instructs us to actively practice santosha or contentment. How can you actively practice contentment today? Contentment is a choice I can make every day. Choosing to let things release from us, let go, and just be content. I greatly appreciate you taking this time for yourself, not only for your physical body, but for your mind and spirit as well. May you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you again. Namaste.